Hello? Hello. Okay, on Google Classrooms, I've posted up the link to the stream. So log on to there. We're gonna quickly run through the UV unwrapping. Yes? Everybody ready? You got 3ds Max up. You got your screen split. Should I begin? Should I begin? Yes? Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, is anyone on the stream? Could tell me if you can hear me yet. Hello, hello. Can you hear me? You can hear me? Yes? Okay, good. Alright, okay. So the first thing, because technically we don't have a model, I'm just gonna create a little simple tombstone, and you guys can follow along, and we're gonna do this as quickly as. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, let me move this, is I'm gonna Alt W on my perspective view to make it large. Zoom out a bit, and then I'm going to create standard primitive and then choose a box. I'm going to draw my box out, and then I'm going to press F4 to get the edge faces. Okay, the length and stuff don't matter too much, but I'm just going to round them out because I'm like that. So 2040, what's this height? Let's say 50 or 60. And then segments, I'm going to increase them to 3333. I'm going to convert to editable poly. And then rename my box to head stone. Okay, once that is done, I'm going to use the vertex tool. And then I'm going to scale out my vertices. Actually, sorry, I'm going to just make sure my box is completely centered. I'm going to right click the X, Y, and Z to make sure it's completely in the middle. Then I'm going to select the vertices. I'm going to select all along the top, and I'm going to use scale and scale out this way as well. On vertical, then rotate it to the side and do the same thing. Okay, the next thing I want to do is give this some edge, a rounded edge, just make it slightly different. I am going to select all along, and I'm going to use the connect feature. So connect options, and let me just use 2. Let's keep this very low poly because it's not too important. I'm going to select the middle 2, and then I'm going to scale up. Okay, and then I'm gonna select the 2 on either side using control to select multiple, and I'm gonna push those up as well slightly. Okay, I'm gonna select these inner amounts. Actually, let me just select these 2 here. And then I'm gonna scale in a tad, and do the same for the back end. Scale in. Maybe that's a bit too much. I'm gonna select the bottom edge, extrude out. Actually, let's select all along. So use once you select one, you can go to the next segment and hold in shift. You can click the next one and it will wrap all the way around. And let's use the extrude settings options. Let's change the group to a local, and then we can increase the size a bit and press the tick button. Okay, let's give this some more shape. I'm gonna select across, connect, tick OK. I want to actually keep these straight, so I'm gonna select along the top ones along here, and then I'm gonna use, if you don't have it, the ribbon. You can show full ribbon with this white little box, and then you want to align to, if you've done this correctly, Z. So let's do the same for the bottom one, align to Z. And if you Alt and X to see through, you know, you can see through to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with these now is I'm just gonna like tweak them in a tiny bit and out, just to give it some shape other than what it is. And actually I'm gonna just rotate the whole thing a tiny bit. Yep, so we've got like a crooked tombstone. And actually I'm gonna scale it in. I think it's a bit too thick. Yep, okay, we're done with the tombstone. Yes, okay, nice. Okay, now this is the step that this lesson is about. What I want to do is I want to select, make sure that nothing is selected here, and I want to go to the modifier list and scroll down to UVW Unwrap. So Unwrap UVW here. Okay, so we take that. And what we also want to do is we want to increase, so we pull these options so we have two, so it's just easier. And you notice that, well, on my one I have green lines going around somewhere, which I don't want. So I'm gonna take off map seams. That's here under configure. So if you don't have yours, you can pull it out and close it. Scroll down, make sure you untick map seams, and then the green lines will disappear. Okay, now the object of this is we're gonna cut out and flatten our 3D model onto a 2D plane. And we're going to do this by selecting our point-to-point seam. So actually I'll go over the tools that we'll be using. We'll be using all of these: vertex, edge, polygon, edit seams, and point-to-point seams. So I'm going to be selecting the point-to-point seams. And what I want to do is I want to cut out this front tombstone here. So this is my front. We can see we're on the front. So what I'm going to do is, so if you see over here, select the lines. I'm going to click the first one down here, the last one, and you can see when we click it, the orange lines turn to blue, and you've got like a thread that follows you to show you where the lines are going to go. So you don't have to click them one by one, you can click them in selection. And then once you've finished doing that selection, you can right click to finish that command. Now we've got our first bit cut out. What I want to do is select the polygon. Oops. Select, and you can see that there's this projection map. What we want to do is select expand polygon selection to seams. So it's going to select everything within inside what we already cut. Then what we need to do is press pelt map. Now you see that it will have, in this new menu, it will have what we cut out. And there's a few things that we need to be aware of. Start pelt, pelt and relax. So when I click the start pelt, you see that it will stretch it out as much as it can, because this is like the binder. Now when you when you have a much more complicated model, there are a bunch more options. You can see like under the pelt options of select stretcher, and then it has the dots, and then you can use these dots around here and use the scale function to scale up the area at which you want to scale to. But we don't need that for this simple model now, and so what we're just going to do is start pelt, and then we're going to say start relax. And when you click the start relax, it will jump back down to its original shape, and then you want to press commit. Once you've pressed commit, you'll realize there's a bunch of other stuff going on inside. What we need to do now is go down to arrange elements and click pack custom. So when you've done that now, you will realize that there are a bunch of other maps on there, and this may start to look familiar if you're used to different types of the games, production. If you've looked at it, you see that they've laid out a bunch of different things. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry too much about the rotation. Um, I'm not going to worry too much about the rotation because that can all be modified. Yeah. Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to cut it off. Okay, and then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go and do the other side. So point to point seams. I'm going to go through select, 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 and select. And then I'm going to select the polygons, and then do the same thing, expand polygons, and then we're going to start pelt. So we start pelt, and then start relax, commit. Again, this is going to be the back. We're going to click pack custom, and you can see now we have a front and a back.
I'm going to use this. Yeah. Sorry. What is the keyboard? Okay, log on and let's be sure first.
Okay, and then I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to click point to point seams again, and this time I'm going to get the whole base. So I'm just going to go around here. And then what I also want to do is get these side ones as well, because we want to create flaps. So I'm going to right click to end each function. Okay, and now I'm going to select this polygon again from the bottom, or wherever, it doesn't matter, because we're going to use this expand polygon to seams. And then I want to click the pelt option again. Click the start pelt, and you can see it looks like a box with flaps opening, and I'm going to click the start relax, and it will relax it to its original shape. Commit, pack custom. Yeah. So we're slowly breaking all of this down. Okay, cut that off. We're gonna go again. So we have the front end, we have the front, we have the back, and we have the base. Now I'm gonna divide these sides into 3 pieces. Okay, so how am I gonna do this? I will do the bottom way. I'm gonna select point to point seams, select these here,
patient here. So we just need to hide the patient here. So
And
everybody
do the
has
same on the other
ID.
side.
And
Sorry
also
if I'm
the
going a bit
doctor
fast, I
ID
just
will be on
realized.
the table. The ID will put every information we want along. And then we have time appointment.
Okay, so that should be enough for all of
And
them.
also,
So we're going to go through one by one
now this is what I want you
and
to do.
pelt them.
Always make
So you
sure
see it wraps around the side.
has the primary key
Start pelt.
right now. You just click on
Bam.
remove line.
Relax.
So
And
you
it's
see
maintain
all
its shape.
should have
Now, if this was
primary
extremely long, to
has
say like if we had a light pole or something, we would want to divide it and cut them up so they're
all yellow keys.
more easy to handle. Okay, so I'm going to
Primary
commit.
the same
And I'm not even going to do the pack custom because we have all of these others to do also. So grow again, start pelt, relax, it looks okay, cut it off, do the same for the top, might need to split it, I'm not sure, so I selected the top, uh, pelt, start pelt, relax, yeah that looks okay, nothing is crossed over, commit also. Okay, so nothing is selected and then I'm gonna go pack custom. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. What we can do now is I wanna align them so they're a lot straighter because I don't like the way this has been packed. So what I'm gonna do is actually, and I'll show you guys this also, is if we go to check, we can go to texture checker UV, and you can see. Actually, let's use the other one. Let's use the checker pattern, and you can see you definitely would have seen this before. How the checker is laid out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is let me start from this side. I'm gonna use the expand feature. So it selected everything and it will actually show you the edges in blue that is connected to. Not that it matters at this moment. I'm gonna use the rotate, rotate. So select, expand, and on the rotate, I'm just gonna rotate and try to make that as straight as possible. This is the front. Expand again. I'm gonna whoop, that's smooth. Let me click on rotate, and you can see the pattern rotating on it. So I'm just gonna try and make this as straight as possible, and then just move it in.
So you are now coming to link the table and then
Do the same with the back.
coming to pause. That's what you do on your way. Linking the table and also creating pause.
Okay, that's buggy.
What will you do? Once you are sure that the foreign keys have all been declared as numbers,
Actually, why don't I move these two
if you like, you can close all the keys from here.
over?
Press on that row X here. You close
So I'm just gonna ignore me. I'm just gonna rearrange them.
just make sure.
Let's pull that out. Try and get the best shape possible,
This is how we link it.
or the best alignment.
You go to database 2. Okay? And then you click on relationship. This is what happens. This will pop up here. And the image are the three tables inside your database.
I'm just gonna
So you're going to
rotate and place.
how do we know that? The first one is appointment.
And be careful not to move it like I just did. Make sure you press undo if that's the case.
Add. You can do it just once, yeah? Oh, wow. You just click it once. Let me start all over.
Okay, let me bring these two back together.
Database relationship. So the highlighted one, click on add. So you just highlight the next one, which is doctor table. You click on add. That will also move from the dialog in the gray area for you. And then you select the last one.
Okay, that's looking good. Nice and clean. Okay, and then you can look around and make sure that nothing, like, the main thing is that these lines look sharp. We don't want them to be blurry or overstretched or anything. So this is looking pretty good. Okay, once we're done with that, I mean, there are a bunch of things that we can do with this. We can go to tools, render UV template, and then a bunch of stuff will come up, and we can decide if we want it to be a 1K texture, that's 1024, or a 2K texture, 2048. But we're going to leave it as a 1K template, and you can go render to UV. Um, and then you'll have your UV layout here, but we don't really need this, to be honest, right now. I used to use this in the older versions. Um, so this is our cut done, all nice. I should have gone over if you made a mistake. If you made a mistake, you can use this tool and use the Alt key and select to delete those lines. But hey, okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to go to tools. There we go. Tools, and we want to go to viewport canvas. Actually, this information is going to be auto saved, so we can actually even collapse this. So once we finish with our unwrap, we can collapse to and go yes, and that information is stored. Anything we put on there will align itself to the UV, to the cuts. So what we want to do now is go to tools, and we want to go to viewport canvas, and then this will pop up. This is, imagine this is Photoshop. Yes, and we're going to paint directly onto our models, and then we can bring that into Photoshop to make it actually look nice. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is when I click the paint, it's going to, with my model selected, it's going to say, it's going to ask what do I want. Assign standard material. Assign, you see it's assigned and we want to select a diffuse, so we can paint in all different types of options. So basic color diffuse. Let's pick one or two for preset. That's a 1K texture. We have to save it. We're gonna have to save it again, so I don't know why it's asking this. Let's just save it as a JPEG. Just throw that onto your desktop, and let's call this headstone texture. Save, best, whatever. Okay. Okay. And then it's brought up layers. Okay, so we can paint in layers just like Photoshop also. So just add another layer. So we're going to paint on here. We can select our colors from here, just like in Photoshop. So let's select that, and straight away you can see the brush. We can mess around with the radius, make it small, large, the opacity, so it's thin, really thin. Let's see the difference. Yep. And let me bring it really low. Yep. I see 100. Yep. The hardness, spacing, basically all different things that you can mess around with. Yep. So right now let's just write C minor, whatever, it doesn't matter. And let me just pick color. I'm just gonna write gibberish on here. And let's paint it radius. So you can go around, paint it, add as much or as little detail as you like. I'm just doing this so you'll see it after. And you can paint details and stuff in there, but what I would do is I would just paint around here. Actually, let's give the background a whole color. Yeah, so I'm gonna select the background and give it a whole color with the paint bucket fill. Yep, we're painting in layers, so it doesn't matter.
Another
Okay, and you can see the layers down here. Um, and what we want to do is we want to save the save PSD as,
create another
and we're gonna call this tombs.
how do you do that? You click on
Whoops,
create
headstone
and then you go to form.
final, whatever.
Okay.
Headstone
Now
final,
there is
save.
something
Okay, we can minimize this now, and let's open up Photoshop.
if you want to create the form for any table, make sure you selected that table before you create it. It's very, very important. We already have four forms. Now you want form appointment. So select
Okay, with Photoshop open,
create a form. Create
file open, and let me go to my desktop
click on
and find
and
Headstone Final PSD.
should ask for the name
Open,
of that form.
and you can see our layer here sorted.
Okay. So this one is
Yep.
going to be
We've got our front, back, and then our panels. And right here, let me see if I can do it live. Bring up Photoshop and
done for you. And we create the last one for
close that. Continue to save PSD file. Again, headstone panel, save. Yes. Okay, that's closed. We can get rid of this. The file looks like it's gone. What we can do is press M for materials. Actually, let's set up our render. So I'm gonna go to render setup. Let me change it to Arnold. Keep it in production. Change to Arnold. Press M for your materials, and let's go standard material. Whoops, what am I doing? Double click. Base color. General bitmap. And then select the texture headstone final. Open. Okay. So our texture is in here. You can see. And we're just going to assign it. Show shaded material. Yeah, so our material is there now. When we render, you can see it's rendered out. Okay, let's cancel that render. I should be able to modify it in here and then save it out directly. So let's go here. Let's paint something. Yeah, I've got my nice DG main brush. Let me paint on a new layer. Let me pick a different color. Let me pick a blue. Okay. And let me give this a rim. And then if I go file, save, okay, and I wiggle this, pop, it bangs on straight. Yep. Actually, let's take down the gloss a bit. See, it all updates itself. So specular, let me take the specular down. Okay. So this is the basics. So what I would do generally is I would try to clean up this gray. If the background is, if the main color of whatever object you have is a certain color, i.e. brown, grays, like a soft pastel color, I would always go and try to get rid of this gray, just so that on the edges, even though 3ds Max does a very good job, on the edges you won't have any gray creeping in. So I'll always make the background color. So I'll come here and go to, let me select similar, and I'll just go in and I'll paint in the background color to match, and then basically modify with detail in here, and then it will auto snap itself Once you press save, that is. Once you press save, it will always update itself in 3ds Max real time. What's going on? How? Okay. Okay, so anyway, that is the end of this tutorial on wrapping. You guys do something better than me, and we'll see you next time. I'm ending the stream.